Hello everyone! Welcome back to series number 2 in the Women's Health series that we're doing, a hot mess. And thank you so much for joining in with me this evening. Tonight we are going to be talking all about skin health, which I believe has a huge correlation with our hormones. As a woman, I can definitely tell you that skin health is very important to me. And I'm going to dive a little bit more into that this evening about my experience with skin health, and how much, how it's affected my life over the last few years. And even more so going into having a teenage daughter and just kind of the things I've learned over the last few years about her skin, I wish I would have known as a teenage girl, or even more so having my mom, known these facts as well. So I'll just kind of give an introduction to some of our new joiners who weren't with us last week. My name is Chelan Wilkins, and I'm a registered holistic nutritionist. And I get to spend the evening with you guys tonight and for the next we have 3 weeks, I believe. The next 3 more weeks, talking all sorts of stuff about women's health. And like I said, tonight we're going to talk about skin health and then leading up into a webinar. So I'm excited to get to join you guys. And we had such a great group on last week. So thank you so much if you are joining in. So kind of a little bit of housekeeping on how things are going to go. I love to interact with you guys. So if you guys have questions, please reach out and type those questions into the live. We have some other people on Nature's Fair that will help answer some of those questions. And then I will try and answer them as we go through, as well as I will personally make sure to go back and answer the questions on the feed if I don't get to them during the live. So please put your questions out there. I will, once we finish coming off the live, I'll go in and type those answers for you guys. And as well as we give away a prize. So the more that you ask questions and kind of interact with us, as well as there's hearts and likes on here for any of the topics that we're talking about, send those away, because the more you do, the more you're entered into the prize. So this evening, because we're talking about skin health, I will be giving away one of Harmony's newest products. And so I'll dive into what that is a little bit later, but it's not even in store yet. It is set to be released at Nature's Fair for the end of June. So the lucky person this evening is going to be the first one to have it. And that's really, really exciting. So let's kind of go into a little bit of homework about skin health. And if you were with us last week, we talked all about hormones. So we talked about that estrogen, we talked about progesterone, we talked a little bit about our steroid hormones, a little bit about testosterone and androgens. We talked a lot about stress. So if you were with us last week, you kind of got a good understanding of what these hormones do in our body and how to recognize imbalances in our body. We were mostly focusing on women's health, but men also have hormones, as much as they don't want to realize that they do, but they do. So we talked about just kind of different imbalances and how stress and these kind of things all affect us. So a part of today is definitely going to be talking about stress and hormones and how that affects our skin health. Now, so this is where we're going to get a little interactive. So how many of you guys watching right now have experienced some sort of skin condition in your life? So a couple of these skin conditions that I'm going to talk about or that I want to bring up, these can be something like hormonal acne or acne. This can be psoriasis, eczema, even rosacea. If you experience hives, or right now, because I know a lot of you guys, the sun is coming out, as you can see, it's shining on my face right now because it's a beautiful day in Vancouver. But we're going into the warmer summer month. How many of you guys even experience kind of rashes, like heat rashes? Even when we're under a lot of stress, I didn't bring this up last week, but sometimes when we're under a lot of stress, has anybody noticed that we get red spots up here on our chest or even in our neck areas? So some redness in our face. So the reason I'm asking this is because when we think about our skin, I know a lot of us think about our skin, especially for women, more for the beauty side and purposes, but our skin is our largest organ in our body, right? So our skin has a very, very important job. So our skin's job is actually, it's our protective unit. So we have, you think of an entire mass of our body, our skin acts as a barrier. It's protecting us from all the toxins and all of the bacterias and all the things that we're exposed to on a day-to-day basis. It's actually part of our first defense of our immune system as well. So when I was talking about immunity a couple of months ago, people were really surprised to understand that our skin is one of our biggest parts of our immune system because it protects all that stuff out. So hence why right now it's very important for us to use antibacterial like hand washing, for us to use, the hand sanitizer anytime we touch things because our skin is exposed to it, right? So our skin is our protective barrier against all of those toxins and bacterias. Our skin also is one of our major detoxifying organs. So when we talk a lot about our skin health tonight, and we'll talk about our overall beauty remedies and how we can maintain a good, healthy skin complexion, but also what these skin conditions can be showing. So our skin, I always tell people, especially my clients, is our skin doesn't lie. Our skin will tell us what's going on in our body. And a lot of that is coming from internal. So if we have some digestive disorders, or we have some food sensitivities, or we have a lot of stress, our skin is going to let us know. So last week, one of the things that I talked about is how we can have imbalances in our body, but because our body is so smart and so well put together that it gives us signs and tells us what's going on. So whether we've kind of been living with a condition for many months or for many years, or as long as we can remember, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's normal. So our skin will give us signs and symptoms that something is out of balance, that something's not okay. So it's really important to pay attention to those. So skin conditions definitely can show that there's an imbalance. So tonight we're going to talk about these skin conditions, and I'm going to give you the 5 things that I feel are really important when we're talking about our skin health, how to have beautiful, glowing skin. So, how many of us have noticed lately that our skin's looking a little different? Does anybody out there feel like they've aged dramatically over the last few months? Or maybe their skin feels really dry. They might be having a little bit more of eruption, so you might be noticing you having a few like pimples. I always find that the rear view mirror in your car tells everything. Like you go to the bathroom and you're putting your makeup on and it looks great, and then you go in the rear view mirror and you start to notice new fine lines, or you notice a wrinkle, or, you might notice a hair here and there. Like all of a sudden the rear view mirror is like a reality check and you're like, oh my gosh, right? So a couple things when it happens with our skin is that stress plays a huge role in our skin health. So again, like I mentioned, our skin showcases everything. So if we're under a lot of stress, we're definitely going to be noticing that our skin, it doesn't have that nice glow. It may seem really, really dry. It may look like we've aged. We might even notice that we have a little bit more wrinkles. And a lot of that can be due to cortisol, our stress hormone. So last week we talked about how much cortisol plays a role in our health of our other hormones. So it can affect our estrogen, our estrogen and our progesterone, right? So progesterone, when we have a lot of cortisol, it can affect our DHEA, which remember I told you is our anti-aging hormone. So it actually helps with our wrinkles. And then as well as progesterone. So progesterone for women, progesterone is actually one of our hormones that actually helps balance the sebum in our skin. So it actually is meant to nourish our skin. It gives us that youthful look and our hydration. So when we're under a lot of stress, we probably are starting to notice that we don't have that beautiful glowy skin, that appearance. So stress plays a huge role. How much water that we drink as well plays a role in our skin hydration. So how many of you guys, I'm loving these comments, by the way, everybody, because I feel you. How many of you guys right now are drinking a glass of water? So I actually make sure I can tell about my skin health if it seems really dry or flaky, because I'm reading some of this. It's not, we're noticing that we're having to put more lotion on. You might even be reaching a little bit more for that rosehip oil because you feel like everything is tight. I was just in the Caribou last week, and I was there for 3 days. and I came home and I felt like my entire face was like, because it was so dry. So definitely I'm trying to upkeep my water intake. So water is really important for our skin health. So I always tell people, if you have a hard time drinking water, buy yourself a really nice water bottle and carry it around with you all the time. So I know when I fill up my water bottle, I have it in the car, I have it, nearby, that I'm always drinking it. But sometimes I notice if I don't do that, what ends up happening is I'm a coffee drinker. So I will drink more coffee. I'll just be like, oh, I want to have another cup of coffee. Just so you guys know, caffeine or coffee dehydrates us. So 1 cup of coffee will dehydrate us 2 full cups of water. So make sure that if you like to enjoy your coffee and you're noticing that your skin's really dry, make sure that you're topping up your water. So drinking more, alternating in between. So water is really important for healthy, like dewy skin and our hydration. And number one, when you go, if you've ever been to a dermatologist or you notice your skin's really dry, they ask how much water. And it's very important for, other things. Our body's made up of water. So we want to make sure that we're getting enough water. We want to, sometimes we feel that we're hungry because we're not drinking enough water. So dehydration is very, having dry skin, even around on our fingers and on our legs. We have a lot of flaky skin. That shows that we could be dehydrated, as well as that we're missing other nutrients in our diet. So make sure that you're drinking enough water to have that nice, healthy skin. Next is our digestive health. So throughout this whole series, you're going to hear me talk about how important our digestive tract is and how important it is, not just for our metabolizing our excess estrogens and our hormones out of our body, but our digestive health also plays a huge role in our skin health. And so the main skin conditions that I was talking about, things like acne, psoriasis, and eczema, all come from our digestive tract. So when we are talking about these kind of things happening in our body, it generally shows that there's a sign that we have an imbalance in our healthy bacteria in our digestive tract, or we have something like gut dysbiosis, so leaky gut. So if you were tuning in last week, I talked about what happens in our digestive tract, how we have things called enterocytes. So inside of our digestive tract, we have things enterocytes, and they close the tight junctions in our digestive tract. So in our intestines, our food flows along, we absorb those nutrients from the foods that we eat, and then we metabolize our food, and then we excrete them out. If we have something with like gut dysbiosis or what they call leaky gut, these enterocytes actually open up. And what ends up happening is we have undigested food particles going into our bloodstream and causing inflammation. We can be sensitive to the food. So if we have food allergies, this that will cause inflammation within our body. So how many of you guys have noticed if you have like a weekend binging on bad foods, let's say a lot of processed foods, or a lot of sugary foods, and then a couple days later, you get a pimple, or you get something over here, or, you might get, like your skin just looks really blotchy and things just start going. So what ends up happening is this shows that we have some intestinal permeability. So there's something going on in our digestive tract. So I'm looking at a couple of these comments here, talking a lot about psoriasis and rosacea. So a couple of things that we can notice when it comes to our skin eruptions is as well as things called Candida. So Candida is a fungal, it's a bacterial overgrowth. Very, very common. We naturally have Candida in our body, but when we eat a lot of sugary foods, when we have a lot of, if we start to notice that we get hives, or, especially in our creases, like in our elbows or behind our knees, or kind of things like that, eruptions, definitely what we could end up noticing is that we might have an imbalance of that Candida bacterial overgrowth. And Candida can take over. So things like psoriasis and eczema, we definitely can see a lot of that with that Candida overgrowth. And eczema definitely can be food allergies. So definitely things like dairy, soy. You can even see it a lot more with like, certain foods, kind of like if you nightshades, depending on how much of things you're eating. But there is food sensitivities that can show in skin conditions like eczema, which become really, really scratchy. And the number one thing that people do when they have eczema is they put topical things on it. So they put hydrocortisone cream on it, they get topical. And that does relieve the itching and stuff, but that's not treating what's going on inside the digestive tract. So the condition actually never gets treated, it gets externally but what we're not dealing with inside. So I actually see a comment on here that I'm just going to jump on right now, because taking a probiotic, okay, so when you're taking a probiotic, once you start, your skin got terrible. So that's a really good point, because I am going to talk about probiotics. So when we're talking about our digestive health, like I mentioned, there can be a Candida overgrowth. We can have something called SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, food sensitivities and allergies, and then all the way down to just having, digestive disturbances and not having enough of that beneficial bacteria. So when we are when we have an abundance of bad bacteria in our digestive tract, what can end up happening is when we put that good bacteria back in it, sometimes things get a little bit worse before they get better. So the job of the bacteria, the good bacteria, probiotics, and I have a couple of the ones that I take that I swear by with probiotics. Sometimes what ends up happening is our body is actually putting those good bacteria back in there. They're fighting off the bad bacteria. So symptoms can kind of be a little bit more, noticeable in the first couple of weeks of taking them before they calm down. Because like I said, our skin is a major detoxifying organ. So we need to get all the toxins and bacteria out, and it comes through our skin, it comes through our feces, and then we also excrete that through our kidneys. So hence why we see eruptions. Our body is telling us that something is out of balance, so it'll come through our skin. So how many of you guys have done a detox and had, have things come through our skin? We've had eruptions a couple weeks later. Or here's a good one too, is facials. We've come out of having a beautiful facial at the spa. Our skin looks amazing, and then we break out a couple days later. So our skin can be very sensitive, but depending on what's going on, if we're picking things out, we're using a new skincare product, or if we're doing a detox to get bacteria out, our skin will showcase that, whether it's an outbreak, with whiteheads or acne, or even an allergic response. We can put things on our skin, and our skin will be like, I don't like that. We have an allergy response to it. It doesn't work well with us, right? So if you're finding that, and I'm just answering your questions with these probiotics, if you're finding that you've been taking them and they're still causing you could try a different brand of probiotic, or you might actually want to start with a smaller strain. So really depending, and if you want, we can talk about that later after the live and see if we can find something that would help with your skin condition. So digestive health does play a huge role. So there are ways to help outside of just probiotics that I want to talk about when we talk about our skin conditions, because our digestive health, again, plays a huge role, in the healthy bacteria. But also, we want to make sure that we have a functioning digestive tract. So last week I talked about how important it was to go to the washroom. Again, if we are constipated and we're not going to the washroom enough, we're not getting rid of all those toxins and bacteria that we have in there. So if you're constipated and you're not going to the washroom, say you go every 2 or 3 days, think about all those bacteria and those toxins that are sitting there that your body is kind of like, hey, I want to get it out. Let's get it out. And it's causing inflammation. So if we have a burdened digestive tract and even a burdened liver, our skin's going to be backlogged and it's going to show. So we're going to have a lot more of those acnes. We're going to see it around our jawline. We're going to see it here, in our cheeks. You might notice that you have it on your back or your chest. And a lot of that is hormonal based, which we'll dive into. Actually, we'll dive into it now, because when we're talking about digestive health, we want to make sure that we're getting all of those excess hormones out. So hormones play a role in our skin health as well. As I already mentioned, that progesterone helps nourish our skin and keeps it hydrated. But what also plays a role is our androgens. So our androgens, so these are all our steroid hormones. So androgens actually convert into our testosterone. So especially when kids are going through puberty, they notice that there's a lot more testosterone, let's say more for males, but they will start to get more of, you'll see that they start to get a little bit more of the pimples and the acne, and that's from the sebum. So the skin gets really, really oily from that fluctuation in those hormones. So if you're noticing that you're getting, eruptions, skin eruptions around your cycle. That can show that there's an imbalance with that testosterone and those androgens, and even sometimes there can be the imbalance with our estrogen. So we have lower estrogen. We might notice that we will have our skin hydration will be affected. Our skin might not be, it might be seen like it's thinner. It can even affect our collagen production. So our hormones definitely play a role in our overall skin health. So depending on the stage and the age that you're at, that can be the fluctuations of our hormones. So obviously when we're in puberty, we're going to have those influxes of that testosterone and that androgen. And then even more so if we've after had a baby and our hormones haven't been really balanced out after breastfeeding and giving birth. And then as we get into our older years of our estrogen dropping, so going into menopause, you might start to notice that your skin just doesn't look as dewy and healthy as it used to. We might notice that, you know, if we look at pictures of us in our 20s, we've got that beautiful plump skin and it just is glowing and dewy and fresh looking. And then as we get older, we're like, what happened? Like things aren't as plump and it seems dry and we don't have that beautiful, we're putting all over those highlighters on our face to kind of give us that nice fresh sun-kissed look, because hormones play a role in our overall hydration and that plumpness and the skin thickness, right? So things change as we get older, but a lot of that goes down to hormones as well as our collagen production. So I'm looking at how many people are on here. How many of my viewers right now are taking a collagen product right now, or how many of you have tried or have thought about taking a collagen production? Because I'm really going to talk about collagen, because when I talk about skin health, the number one thing that people think of when we're talking about our skin is collagen. So just to kind of give you a background on collagen and myself, is I have been talking about collagen probably for the last 3.5, 4 years, because collagen is probably, there's over 50 different types of collagen products on the market today. So I'm sure that you have gone into a store, looked at the collagen section and been like, holy smokes, there is a lot of collagen products on the market. Where do I start? How do I choose one? And what does collagen actually do for us? So first off, collagen is the most abundant protein in our body. So we have over 16 different types of collagen in our body. So when we talk about collagen in our body, most people think about collagen in our skin. So we think about our skin, our hair, and our nails. But collagen is essential for the health of our joints. It's found in our red blood cells. It's found in our bones. It's found in our eyes. Like collagen is throughout our entire body. But what we mainly know about is just the skin health and anti-aging purposes. So just to kind of give you a little bit of a background of collagen, so the main types that you'll hear people talk about when they're talking about collagen is type 1, 2, and 3. So when we're talking about healthy skin, hair, and nails, the main ones that we're going to talk about, type 1 and type 3. So type 1 collagen is anything that we find on the exterior of our body. So our skin, our hair, and our nails. Type 3 is what we find in our reticular fibers. So we find that in our muscles. So think of how much surface area that is, or our skin and our muscle mass, right? And then type 2 we find in our joints. So things like, like all of our joints, like our knees, like our cartilages. So if you suffer from arthritis, it's a loss of collagen that breaks down the cartilage. So that's where, type 2, that's where we would find abundant of that. So in our cartilages and our ligaments. So when it comes down to beauty, so we naturally produce our own collagen. And so as we're younger, our collagen production obviously rises when we're younger. That's why we have that youthful, glowy skin. We don't have these fine lines and wrinkles. But what ends up happening is our collagen production as we age starts to decrease. So say we're around 25, our collagen production will naturally start to decrease. Generally, they say around 5%. Then by the time that we're about 35, the collagen production can decrease by about 15%. And then unfortunately for women, especially once we start to hit menopause, so over the age of 45, our collagen production can actually decrease by about 50%. So how many of you guys right now have noticed a huge, and if you're in that age bracket or going through this, have noticed it more that your skin, you have way more fine lines, you're noticing more wrinkles, you're noticing a loss of that, that fullness in our skin. So when I'm talking about fullness, I'm talking about those nice, plump skin. Our skin doesn't seem kind of droopy. We're not noticing, I'm showing you my nasolabial folds. These are more prominent now. But as we get older, that's from a loss of collagen. If things lifestyle plays a huge factor in this as well. So if you're under a lot of stress, that definitely can help speed up our loss of collagen. If you're a smoker, so smoking will actually decrease our collagen production quite rapidly, as well as the foods that we eat. So collagen production, we definitely need to make sure that we're eating enough good, nutritious foods. So we'll talk about nutrition, but we want to make sure that we're actually getting in enough vitamin C. So how many of you guys out there right now, so send me a heart. Here's where we're getting into winning the prize. Show me a heart. How many of you guys know that vitamin C is actually essential for collagen production in our body? Vitamin C is not just, it's one of the most powerful antioxidants out there, but vitamin C, our body needs vitamin C to produce collagen in our body. So there's a lot of things out there that say, you should take your collagen with a vitamin C product for absorption, but vitamin C is essential for it. So we find a lot of our vitamin C. We store a lot of it in our outer layer of our skin, so we need it for our outer layer as well as our inner layer. So we need to make sure that we're eating enough vitamin C rich foods, as well as make sure that you're supplementing with a vitamin C every single day to keep up that collagen production. Another great thing about another great way of keeping up our collagen production is to supplement with a collagen product. Okay, so I've seen a couple great questions here about which collagen product is best and what one is great for your hair, skin, and nails. And so we're going to dive into that. So like I said, there's the main 3 types that we talk about, type 1, 2, and 3. So when you go down the aisle at Nature's Fair and you're looking at the collagen products, you'll probably see a plethora of them. The main ones that you see, and I love the series of hearts there, that was beautiful. The main ones that you will see will be bovine collagen, and so which is derived from beef, right? And then marine collagen. So just to give you a little bit of history of marine collagen. Marine collagen was one of the first collagens on the market years ago, because marine collagen actually is the closest to our own size of our collagen in our body. So how many of you guys have heard about the marine collagens from years ago? When it first came out, it was touted for the beauty remedies. It was good for anti-aging and reducing wrinkles. So marine collagen has been on the market for many, many years. And marine collagen, like I said, it's already, it's the closest to our own collagen within our body. So another great thing about marine collagen is that it's naturally a small molecule. So when you pick up a collagen product, you'll notice on the product it says hydrolyzed. So hydrolyzation is an essential part of collagen production. So we need collagen to be hydrolyzed so that our body can absorb it. So collagen is a large molecule. So one thing is, if you look on the, if you go to a beauty product section and you're looking, it's like, apply collagen to your skin, it's going to help with the collagen production in your body. You actually need to absorb the collagen to increase your collagen production within your body, because collagen is such a large molecule, we're not going to be absorbing it because it's so big. So the hydrolyzation process is very important. So depending on the collagen product you choose, bovine needs to be hydrolyzed so that we can absorb it. Marine collagen is already a very small molecule, so it's the most bioavailable form of collagen that we can absorb, plus it's hydrolyzed, so we actually absorb it at a faster rate with marine collagen. Hence why it's generally a little bit more expensive, because it is more of a finer molecule, and it's been touted to be essential for healthy hair, skin, and nails, more of the beauty type. So it's very, very high in that type 1 collagen. So if you're looking for, a good collagen product, I would really focus on one that is high in that type 1 and type 3 collagen. So how collagen helps us in our collagen production in our body, guys, is the amino acids that we find in collagen. So your body is you're going to take the collagen product, and these specific amino acids that are in there are going to naturally help increase our collagen production. The main amino acids when you hear people talk about collagen are hydroxyproline, proline, and so it's actually the hydroxyproline in it that actually increases our collagen production by up to 50%, as well as glycine. So if you have digestive disturbances or digestive issues, glycine has actually been shown to help heal and seal the intestinal wall. So it's a great, collagen's great for helping heal the digestive tract as well as cleaning up and helping with our skin. So generally people start taking a collagen product, within a couple of weeks they kind of start to notice that they have a nice natural glow to their skin. So collagen works really well with that hydration. It works well with actually even decreasing those fine lines. So guys, if you're taking a collagen product, and I used to get asked this all the time in my seminars, if I start taking this, is it going to erase the wrinkles? It doesn't erase the wrinkles, but what it does is it helps fill out some of those fine lines here, or if we're starting to notice the aging process, it'll slow down the aging process. So a great product. It's great to take if you're noticing your collagen production, you know, if you're getting into your later years, I mean, you're starting to notice your skin health. Another thing is, and I did see this in one of the comments there, was talking about hair falling out or even hair loss. So hair loss is definitely something that can be, you know, we could be depleted of minerals, so nutrients in our diet. We could be low in iron. Also, as we age, it can, hair loss and hair thinning can be due to hormonal imbalances. And I am a sufferer of hair loss. So my hair has gotten quite thin over the last few years. I also have hypothyroidism. So that in itself causes hair loss. So I definitely notice the strength and how the strength of my hair, so it doesn't fall out as much when I'm taking collagen, as well as my nails. So how many of you guys have really dry, brittle nails and they break easily? Collagen is really good at helping your nails grow faster, as well as the strength of your nails. So taking a collagen product is great for your hair, your skin, and your nails. One of the questions I see here, how long do you take it? I've been taking collagen probably on and off for the last 3.5 years. So I used to take bovine collagen. So I used to take that for probably the first 2 years, and now I've switched over to marine collagen just because I am using a new product and I really like it, and just to give it a switch. I also find that with marine collagen, I actually notice my skin. I notice the effects a little bit faster, and it's also it absorbs easier in water. So I actually just do a good quality collagen product will absorb right away in the water, so you won't have any of that chunking. So you'll notice if you use bovine collagen, derive from it, that it can have some white chunks in it. With marine collagen, if it's a really good source marine collagen, it will actually blend in water right away. There will be none of that. So it actually dissolves. You won't even be able to tell. So a couple of things when you're choosing a collagen product, you guys, make sure it's sustainably sourced. Make sure that it is, if you're going with a bovine collagen, make sure that it's grass-fed, no hormones, no antibiotics. When it comes to marine collagen, say no to farmed fish. You want to make sure that it is wild caught fresh water. So a lot of marine collagens are caught up north. You want to make sure that it's a wild caught, and a lot of it we see from cod, fishes like that. So make sure it's not farmed at all when you're coming to your marine collagen products. And like I said, they can be a little bit more expensive. I'll talk a little bit more about the collagen there's some good questions, but I'll talk a little bit more about collagen products after I want to dive in here. But a couple of questions here. So you can take it on and off for as much as you'd like. It's a great source of protein. So if you're finding protein, again, is one of the most, it's a building block in our body. So if you're not eating enough protein, you're definitely going to notice that you don't have good, healthy skin. You're definitely going to notice that your hair seems brittle. If you need to make sure that you're eating protein at least 3 times a day, Yes, sorry, that's what I meant, salt water. Yeah, thank you. It's the end of the day for me. Thank you for correcting me. You want to make sure that you're eating enough protein, because if you don't have enough protein, that will have an effect on your skin health. Collagen shouldn't have a taste. So a lot of collagens are put through a carbon filtration system to remove the taste. But again, a good source collagen during the hydrolyzation process will ensure that it doesn't have a taste. I've never really tasted it. It might taste, if you're putting it in just straight water, you might notice the water tastes a little bit different. But I don't, if it tastes fishy, then that's not a good source of collagen. I wouldn't use it. But I always just throw it in my smoothies. I've put it in, you know, my coffee in the morning. You can bake with it. It doesn't denature because it's gone through that hydrolyzation process. But it's really, really easy just to take, you know, a tablespoon or 2 of collagen a day. So can you overdose on collagen? That's a great question. No. So basically collagen is just a bunch of amino acids, and your body's only going to absorb what it can at the time. So what I used to get asked is, how many servings of collagen should I take in a day? I do 2 tablespoons a day, and that's it. If you find that you don't have time to, if you're not getting enough nutrients in the day, or if you're going to have a smoothie and you just want to throw it in there, that's great. But you don't want to go too much in a serving, because you're only going to be absorbing a certain amount that your body can, and you're kind of basically what you're going to do is you're wasting the product. If you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to put 4 tablespoons in my smoothie, you know, you're not going to be absorbing all of that, because your body can only absorb a certain amount in a time of the serving, right? So you can do it throughout the day, but no, you can't overdose on collagen. Like I said, collagen contains amino acids, and those amino acids are what your body's actually absorbing to keep up that collagen production. So alongside, you know, you want to make sure you're getting enough vitamin C to keep up the collagen production within our body. So I definitely can recommend some collagen products after this for some of the questions, but I'll keep going because I just want to talk more about nutrition and other supplements. So next, for healthy skin, is really important that we talk about essential fatty acids. How many of you guys out there right now are taking an essential fatty acid? So I'll wait for some of those comments. So an essential fatty acid, so basically what essential fatty acid means is that we need these certain fatty acids in our body, but we actually don't make them in our body. So essential fatty acids are things like flaxseed, omega-3s, omega-6, omega-9s, you know, the fatty acids that we find in our foods. So fatty acids are actually what gives us that nice, you know, it helps nourish our skin. It gives it that nice glow. We find it's not dehydrated. There's a lot more moisture in it. A good way to see if you're lacking essential fatty acids in your diet is if you have a lot of hangnails, or you have a lot of, you know, skin around your fingernails. It seems to be like peeling back. That can show that you're lacking enough fatty acids in your diet. Essential fatty acids also help reduce inflammation in our body. So if you are, you know, you're very sensitive, you have a lot of aches and pains, joint pains, inflammatory responses, essential fatty acids help reduce the inflammation in our body. So we need to make sure that we're taking a good omega-3. We get an abundance of omega-6 in our diet, but we are lacking omega-3 in our diet. So I always recommend taking an essential fatty acid oil. Again, I mentioned this last week too, how important it is to have enough essential fatty acids to produce our hormones. So we need enough fatty acids in our diet to keep up with our hormone production. So a good essential fatty acid. I recommend taking anything, I like to recommend taking anything over 1,200 to 1,500 milligrams in a serving, depending on how, you know, depending on your diet and what you're taking in for your food. If you're eating a lot of nuts, if you're seed cycling, or if you eat a lot of avocados daily, just depending on how much healthy fats like chia seeds, hemp hearts, those are all great sources of essential fatty acids. I would recommend taking a supplement and taking at least 1,500 to 3,000 milligrams in a serving. So there's great ones. I can answer questions about the ones that I take. I take it in a liquid form. Guys, I take it first thing in the morning. I take it with my vitamin 3 drops, which is another essential vitamin for good skin health. And it's a fat soluble vitamin. So I always take that every single morning to make sure that I get essential fatty acids in my diet every day. So next, I want to talk about nutrition. So nutrition, all the foods that we eat play a big role in, our skin health. So if we're eating a ton of processed foods, it's definitely going to show. We need to make sure that we're eating a diet with enough protein. We want to make sure that we're getting enough of our healthy fats. We want to make sure that we're eating nutrient-rich foods like good fresh fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables contain antioxidants. So antioxidants like vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, those are all our antioxidant-rich, vitamins. If we're not eating enough of those foods, then we're not going to have enough of them in our body. Antioxidants, their job is to bind to the free radicals in our body and to get rid of them. So we take on so many toxins and bacteria that their job is to go in, bind to those, and we excrete them. So have you seen beauty products out there that are like antioxidant rich? You'll see a lot of vitamin C or hyaluronic acid is really in a lot of external beauty products. If you're not getting enough of that diet, that's definitely going to affect how your skin looks. So really we want to make sure that we're taking care of our skin from within with the foods that we eat, getting enough of those essential fatty acids. We want to have a good functioning digestive tract. We want to have a good healthy liver. We want to be making sure that we're drinking a lot of that water, because that is how, that's the formula that gives us that nice glowing skin. So how many of us spends hundreds and hundreds of dollars on skincare products to make our skin look luminous on the exterior? We want to stop down, the aging process. We use anti-wrinkle creams. We go through facials. We do all of that. We spend the money on looking after our skin health from the exterior. But what are we doing on the interior for our beauty regime? So I always say, there's our external beauty regime and then there's our internal beauty regime. And that's what we're talking about tonight. So taking the proper supplements that can help with our skin health, but making sure that we're eating the right foods, that we have a healthy digestive tract, and that we even balanced hormones can play an effect on how our skin health. So I kind of want to open it up a little bit to questions about skin health and people who are suffering some things, so that I can give a little bit more information on the things that I would recommend outside of, what I've been talking about when it comes down to, our skin health. And like I mentioned, when it comes to nutrition, make sure you're eating as organic as possible. Make sure you're eating protein at every single meal. Make sure you're eating fats at every meal. So your fat can be just the size of like your thumb here. So, try eating half an avocado every single day. Make sure you're getting in your nuts. You can do sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. Make sure that you're supplementing with a vitamin C product. NRC is a great product if you want to get in. NRC actually contains vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E. It also has our B vitamins in it. So all really great for our skin health. I drink about 2 or 3 of those a day right now just to get my vitamin C, or I throw it in my smoothies. Make sure that you're taking essential fatty acid, a probiotic, and then collagen. Make sure you're taking a collagen product every single day. I take my collagen, like I said, in my smoothies. And then for the exterior of our skin health, make sure that you're using products. We're going into the summer months. Make sure that you're choosing products that are paraben free, that are as natural as possible, because we absorb 80% of the things that we put on our skin. So if we're using products that can cause endocrine disruptors, so they can cause imbalances in our hormones, or they're heavily filled with perfume, things that cause reaction, then we're kind of working against ourselves. So I try to use as much as organic and natural as possible. I use a lot of Inika. I don't know if you guys have heard of Inika, but it's an organic makeup brand. They have a skincare line. So I use that. That's everything that you see on my face. So I use it as organic as possible for skincare. And I make sure that I try to avoid anything that has parabens in it, formaldehyde, fragrances. And, I take care of my skin more, so I focus on what I put in my body than external, because what I have noticed over the years, and I spent thousands of dollars doing facials and skincare health, I had cystic acne. So that was one of the biggest things that I noticed that was wrong with my hormones, is that I was in my mid-20s and I developed acne. I was the first person in my family ever to have acne, and I had grade 4 cystic acne all down. You can probably see a little bit of my acne scars here on the camera here. So I spent thousands of dollars trying to get my acne sorted out, but it all came down to the hormonal imbalances that I had, the foods that I was eating. I wasn't eating healthy. I was in my 20s. I was consuming more, alcoholic beverages. I wasn't drinking water, and I wasn't eating healthy. So I think there's a lot of components when it comes down to healthy skin. And these 5 things, looking at our lifestyle. Are we getting enough water? Are we eating a nutritious diet? Are we getting enough fatty acids? And are we using the right supplements that help? So I'm going to answer some of these questions here, guys, and then I will get Nature's Fair to pick a winner. So just so you guys know, the product, we did talk about balance. If you have questions about balancing hormones or any of the Harmony products that we talked about last week, but the balance actually contains peony. So if you do have some hormonal balances, happy to answer those questions, but their products do contain peony that actually helps nourish and tone the skin. And like I mentioned, if you have hormonal balance between estrogen and progesterone, that can definitely show in our skin health. But the product that we are giving away tonight is that Harmony came out with, they were releasing their own collagen product. And so this is like no other collagen product on the market right now. It actually is sourced with marine collagen. It actually contains astaxanthin. Saying that right. So astaxanthin is a very, very potent antioxidant, like 500 times more than vitamin C. So very, very potent antioxidant. So it's great for all different things in our body with, getting rid of those free radicals in our body. So all the way down to our overall health, more particular for our skin health. So very, very high in vitamin C. And it also contains silica. So how many of you guys know about silica? So silica I call is like the fertilizer within our body for our hair, skin, and nails. So it helps to with growth. So if you're noticing that you have thinning hair or you have brittle nails, silica helps fertilize that within our body so that we have healthy hair, skin, and nails. And the astaxanthin, and then it also has inulin in it. So inulin, guys, is a prebiotic. So we need prebiotics in our body to build up that healthy bacteria. So prebiotics and probiotics. So probiotics put in that healthy bacteria, and then we need to make sure that we have. So think of it as like when let's think of our digestive tract as like a lawn. So inulin is that prebiotic. So we're putting that fertilizer and that seed in, and then the probiotics is that healthy bacteria. So we're watering it and we're going to make it grow and flourish. So inulin is very good for digestive health. So a product that helps heal our digestive tract, build up good digestive health, because digestive health is so important when it comes to healthy glowing skin, with that marine collagen, as well as a powerful antioxidant, and then that fertilizer to help grow our hair, skin, and nails. So it's called Natural Beauty. It won't be released into Nature's Fair. So if you guys are all intrigued with it, it's going to be in the stores at the end of June. It's called Natural Beauty. So it's a beautiful, beautiful project. I actually don't have a sample of it on me now because I'm all out of it. I need to go get more. But some lucky lady or person who's watching is going to get a free sample of it tonight. You're going to be the lucky winner of it. So if you win it, I would love to hear back from you in a couple of weeks how you are enjoying it. It actually, when you mix it in water, because of the astaxanthin, it kind of turns a nice little pink color. So pretty cool. And it's a 30-day supply. And so it's filled with all sorts of good stuff. So I'm going to answer some questions here, guys. And then from there, next week, we are going to talk about hormone imbalances. So we're going to dive more into what those look like. So if you have any questions about hormone imbalances, or you personally, experience them, then please just, send us a little message or let them know, or you can even reach out to me on my channels and I can bring them up. But we're going to dive into more of those. So you have a winner. Okay, great. So Sheila Thornton, yes. Congratulations, you get to win it. So just reach out to Nature's Fair. They're going to let you know all of this. And you know what I'll do, guys, is I see all of your wonderful questions here. So what I will do is when I get off here, I will personally come back and message you guys on the thread so that I don't forget and I don't miss anybody, because I find it so much easier. So I hope you guys enjoyed this evening. I'll see you guys all next Wednesday as we talk about hormone imbalances. And please just let me know if there's anything that you want me to cover next week in our live. And then I'll see you guys in the webinar on June 11th when we're redefining women's health. So have a fantastic night, everybody. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys all next week. Bye.